These two fragrances have been making waves everywhere, and honestly, the hype around them had me curious. Liquid Brun and Art of Nature 2 are two of the most talked about fragrances right now, and for good reason. They promise to deliver a scent inspired by the much-loved Parfums de ALTHAIR, but for a fraction of the price. Everywhere I turned, people kept asking me,
"Can you compare these two? Which one is better?"
So here we are, finally putting these two side by side to settle the debate. Both fragrances cost under $50, which makes them incredibly tempting, especially when ALTHAIR itself sits at a much higher price point. But does the hype hold up? Are they good enough to be worthy alternatives to the original? And most importantly, which one should you buy? By the end of this, we'll break it all down, from the scent to the performance, and crown one as the better pick. Let's get started. Before we dive into the clones, let's take a closer look at their inspiration. Parfums de ALTHAIR, a fragrance that's undeniably one of my personal favorites from the house. This one has gotten me so many compliments, and it's easy to see why. ALTHAIR is a warm, spicy, oriental vanilla fragrance that feels incredibly versatile and elegant. It's 100% unisex, perfectly suited for fall and winter, and works beautifully as a layering fragrance. When you first spray it, you're greeted by a rich blend of cinnamon, cardamom, orange blossom, and bergamot, creating a warm and slightly zesty opening. As it develops, the heart of bourbon, vanilla, and elemi emerges, adding depth with a creamy sweetness and resinous touch. Finally, the base notes of praline and tonka bean create a smooth, comforting, and luxurious dry down that lingers for hours. This balance of sweet, spicy, and musky elements makes ALTHAIR an absolute favorite for cooler months. The bottle itself reflects the high-quality experience. It's heavy, well-crafted, and every detail feels meticulously designed. But let's face it, its premium price tag isn't something everyone can easily justify. Now let's see how these affordable alternatives compare and if they can live up to the original. The presentation immediately catches your attention. The box is heavy and a rich brown color, giving it an air of quality. It definitely doesn't look cheap at all. Once you open it, the bottle itself continues that theme. It's beautifully designed with a crystal-like element on the front and top of the cap, which gives it a touch of elegance. The name is displayed clearly, and on the back you'll find the words French Avenue written. The cap clicks securely into place, and while it's not magnetic, it feels solid and well built. For a fragrance at this price point, the overall presentation and quality of the bottle are really good. Enough with the presentation, now let's dive into the scent itself. Sprayer test. That's all right. Upon the first spray, you're immediately hit with that blend of cinnamon, cardamom, and vanilla. A warm, slightly sweet opening that immediately brings to mind ALTHAIR. But there's a subtle twist here. While ALTHAIR's opening leans dry, musky, and sweet, Liquid Brun introduces a slightly fresher touch right from the start. It feels a bit brighter and more lively, offering a hint of freshness that sets it apart, even though it's clearly ALTHAIR influenced. It's familiar, but there's just enough individuality to make it its own. The scent feels like it has something extra, a slight differentiation that keeps things interesting. Next, let's look at Lattafa Art of Nature 2. The presentation of this one is simple but striking. The bottle has clean lines and a metallic cap that fits snugly, giving it a refined, polished look. It's not overly flashy, but you can tell that it's been well crafted for what it is. One detail that stands out is the 3D horses on the label, which is a nice touch, adding a bit of character to the presentation. When you spray Art of Nature 2, the opening feels slightly different from Liquid Brun. While Liquid Brun starts off with that fresh and spicy vibe, Art of Nature 2 comes in a bit warmer and richer from the start. There's more depth to it right away. If you compare both directly to ALTHAIR, Art of Nature 2's opening feels closer to the original's creamy sweetness. It has that comforting warmth right from the beginning. But if you focus solely on the clones themselves, Liquid Brun's fresher, lighter start offers a unique angle, one that might appeal to those who prefer a brighter, more vibrant opening. Let's let both of them settle for a while and come back to explore how they dry down and perform after some time.
A few moments later.
All right, I've spent a good amount of time with both fragrances, and here's what I found. Liquid Brun starts with that familiar warm, spicy vibe, and after the first few minutes, it transitions transitions into a rich, spicy vanilla that becomes sweeter and more inviting as it dries down. Over time, it evolves, adding layers and depth, with the scent becoming a bit more complex and nuanced. There's a noticeable shift as the fragrance settles, giving it a dynamic feel that changes throughout the wear. On the other hand, Lattafa Art of Nature 2 stays relatively linear, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It maintains that same sweet, warm profile from the opening all the way through the dry down. You get a smooth, consistent sweetness that doesn't shift much but feels comforting and easy to wear. Both fragrances come incredibly close to ALTHAIR's signature smooth, spicy warmth, but each one brings something a little different to the table. If you prefer a fragrance that evolves, giving you a richer experience as it develops over time, then Liquid Brun delivers that. However, if you're someone who appreciates a fragrance that maintains that consistent, creamy sweetness throughout, then Lattafa Art of Nature 2 will definitely be the right choice for you. When it comes to performance, Liquid Brun takes the lead. It lasts a bit longer and projects more noticeably, especially in the first few hours. You'll definitely get more of a presence with this one, making it the better option if you're looking for something that really stands out and grabs attention. Art of Nature 2 holds its own with solid longevity, but it softens more quickly. The projection isn't as strong and it becomes a little more subdued as time goes on. If you're someone who wants a fragrance that stays noticeable throughout the day, Liquid Brun will definitely win you over. Now, let's talk about price. Both are incredibly affordable, especially when compared to high-end alternatives. But if you're looking for something that's slightly cheaper, Lattafa Art of Nature 2 takes that prize. It's also more widely available in many regions, so you'll likely find it easier to get your hands on it. However, availability can depend on where you live, so this might vary for you. Okay, let's wrap it up. It's actually simple. If you want a fresher opening and slightly better performance, Liquid Brun takes the lead. It has that extra edge in longevity and projection, especially in the first few hours. If you love a creamy sweetness that stays consistent from start to finish, then Lattafa Art of Nature 2 is your pick. It gives you that smooth, steady warmth all the way through. Are they a good alternative to ALTHAIR? Absolutely. Can they replace ALTHAIR? 100%. But it all comes down to what you're looking for. Both are incredible options that get really close to the original at a fraction of the price, offering great value. Let me know in the comments which one you choose, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.